Good morning, this is Gail. So we're going to get started in about 4 minutes, but I wanted just to pop in to get everything all set up, let you know about the stuff that you'll need. You'll need a strap. Doesn't have to be a fancy one though. You could use a dog leash or a cat leash. I've got a cat leash here. Let me see here. And again, I'm trying to get set up to where I can see it on the TV, so just, okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Very good. Okay. And what did I mention? I mentioned a strap. You can also use those little stretchy bands. Those work too. And this is for the gentle yoga for low back pain care class. Hey everybody, be sure to make a little comment that you're here today. Thanks. If you have a block, please use one of these little yoga blocks. If you don't have a yoga block, maybe you can, run to the bathroom, not fast though. Grab two hand towels, kind of roll them up, and then, you get them all, tied together with this rubber band or a string, or just, if you don't have that, you just, tightly roll them, and it'll stay for what you need to do today. Other things you can use, let me think, yoga blanket or a long towel. I know, you can go to somebody's closet, maybe get a tie. Let me think, maybe a long scarf. So these are the tools that you need for doing this specific class. So when I teach this class to my regular clients, we use a strap, a block. What else? I can't think of anything right now. My mind is going blank. So what else is new? All right, so let me make a few adjustments here. I need to shut the door so the cat doesn't come in. I know y'all love to see my cat. He likes to meow a lot, so it's kind of it kind of like distracts me a bunch. All right, so my name is Gail. In the description of this class is it's Hatha Yoga. It's yoga postures and practices to help us undo all the stress that we deal with on a chronic daily basis. And some of the tools that we use when we teach a Veterans Yoga Project class are meditation, mindful movement, breathing, guided rest and relaxation, and a gratitude practice. So that's to help us undo that stress. There is a little survey at the bottom, kind of know, okay, what are my stress levels at the moment? What are my pain levels? Those type of things. And then as we go through the class, I'm going to ask you to notice. And then at the end, if you haven't done one of these surveys before, we'd like to see how successful this class was in helping you with your issues. Okay, so always know, keep it between easy and ouch. If it hurts, don't do it. If you feel like the breathing or something is weird, that's fine. Just don't do that. Join us for the next pose, okay? So what we'll be doing, we'll be lying on our back with our knees bent to begin with. So if you've done my class before, you can go ahead and lay down on the ground with the knees bent. If you have a hesitation getting down on the floor, I'm going to demonstrate with the chair how to get down on the ground. All right, so we're going to be doing breathing. We're going to be warming up, doing core work, and I'm looking at my list. We'll be doing some standing and strength and balancing. We'll also do a cool down, guided relaxation and rest with the yoga sleep method. And then we'll do that gratitude practice and end. And we're going to try to get that all in 45 minutes. I don't know if it'll happen. It may be 47 minutes. All right. So again, my name is Gail. I teach for the Veterans Yoga Project. I've been doing donation classes for the Veterans Yoga Project for about 4 years now, and I'm got their training, and I'm really pleased to help them out by providing classes during our world's health crisis. Again, keep everything between the easy and ouch. If you have issues with your back tissues, hopefully this class is going to assist you with that. All right, so we're going to get up, or I'm going to get up. Y'all stay on the floor with the knees bent. But I'm going to proceed to get down onto the floor. All right, so let me move stuff out of the way. At the end of the class, I'll come up to the front of the room, and I will read the guided script for our guided relaxation and release. So let's go ahead and get down to the ground. If you've, again, have a hesitation, basically you just come over to the couch or the chair. I'm going to move that blanket out of the way. Come either down to the hands or the forearms, step a foot back, contract that belly button towards the spine if you're feeling some core kind of wiggliness going on. And then you can kind of tip over and come to lying on your back. First pose will be constructive rest pose. I'm going to move that chair out of the way. I've got my yoga block handy. And yay, let's go ahead and just kind of settle into the yoga mat. I already felt my back pop just by doing that. So I do have some issues with my back. I'm going to try to relax my shoulders as I have my elbows bent, resting my hands on my belly. My knees bent. They're not dipped in. They're not dipped out. They're kind of like parallel, like number 11s, okay? And then just being here in this pose. If you got 10, 15 extra minutes and you're feeling a little spiciness in the spine, getting into constructive rest pose, knees bent, laying on your back, is very beneficial to kind of like ease and lessen the stress going on with the backside. Hey everybody, thanks for popping in. All right, so I'm not teaching on Thursday, I'm teaching today, Monday, so we'll have a different kind of schedule at the beginning of the year, so look for that. And I'm happy that you're all here today. So let's breathe in, and when we breathe in, let's make that belly get big. Here we go. Breathe in, belly big. And then as we exhale, contract the belly button towards the spine. Very good. Let's do that again. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Y'all keep breathing. I want to make sure I've got the volume up so that y'all can hear me from way far away. Again, breathe in, belly big. Yeah, I had my volume down. Sorry about that, folks. I think I get everything checked, but it's like, okay. I'm thinking, wonder what that volume's doing. We did a Zoom class with my family yesterday, and so we had to like turn the volume down because it was like vibrating, right? And again, breathe in, breathe out. Relax those shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out. All right, I'm going to look at our stuff that we're going to do today. All right, we're going to do a knee to chest pose. So I'm walking my feet actually in a little bit, and I'm going to contract my belly button towards the spine. So I'm activating my core. I'm going to lift the leg that's closest to you up into the air, and then I'm going to exhale, bring the knee into the chest, and then inhale, push it away. Ooh, snap, crackle, pop. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, push it away. Now I have got my heel flexed when I'm doing this too. So knee into chest. So again, this is warming up the hip joint, warming up that knee joint. There may be lots of conversation going on with those joints, like little crinkly, crackly kind of noises. Okay, for me, there's that noise. Because again, I do have back issues. Woo! You may be able to go a little bit faster once you kind of get it, kind of range of motion. And maybe like, no, I'm not going any faster. I'm just coordinating that with my breath. And let's do one more. And release. Wow. Okay. Might be a little spicy. I'm going to rub that a little bit. Sometimes that's just like, whoo. I need a little awakening going on there. All right. Contract the belly button towards the spine. Let's do the other leg. Lift it up. And then exhale, bring that knee in towards your chest. Now notice if it comes closer, easier, harder than the other one, okay? And then inhale, push away. Exhale, knee into chest. Now I'll breathe through the mouth so you can hear the breath, but you don't necessarily have to breathe through the mouth. Typically we keep our lips softly sealed, but if you got that drainage and congestion going on, you're going to breathe however is best for you, right? And if you're in a spicy pose, just remember, return your attention to your breath. Listen to the breath going in through the nose or the mouth and out. So that redirection of attention sometimes allows you to stay in the pose, allows you to move in the pose, or not. It's not always, fail-proof. But typically it's like, okay, I can stay here just a little bit more. We don't want you to go to hospital, ouch. But, sometimes a little bit of tension is okay, but again, not if it hurts. Whew. One more. I think we did extra on this side. And release. Beautiful. All right, knee to chest. That should have warmed up our hip musculature, kind of get the nooks and crannies, or the knees kind of, getting some fluid through those knees. I'm really happy about that. All right, I'm going to check our list. We're going to do the strap now. Now, if you don't have a strap, that's cool. You're going to do hands back behind the thigh, okay? It's not as effective, but that's okay. Later on, you can do this video again. Look for it in the video tab, and get your props if you just want to get in there and do the class with us. All right. So again, the leg closest to me, you're gonna bend that knee, contract the belly button towards the spine. Oh, my foot just popped, and then place the strap along the bottom of the foot, and then just kind of make it go up in the air. Wow. Okay. Feeling pretty tight in the hamstrings today. So this is my challenge leg. So I'm not able to easily straighten it. So I'm going to straighten it, bring it down lower to where I can straighten it and get that little contraction of my quadricep, calf, and then start inviting it towards my chest. Now I tend to have my heel go towards the center and my toes out. What I would like you to do, I invite you to do, is to keep the toes aligned with the shin, the knee, the thigh. When that happens, though, you're going to feel some extra stuff going on in the muscles wrapping around the behind. Oh, yeah. And again, return the attention to the breath. This is called big toe hold. It's one of the 12 poses for building bones because you're stimulating the muscles by contracting. And when you contract the muscles, that stimulates bone growth. So, it's pretty cool that doing, this one right here is great. So if you're a runner, this is one of your favorite poses for, kind of awakening the hamstrings, the quadriceps. But typically you see this standing up, not lying on your back. We're just using gravity in a different way. All right, now we're going to take big toe hold out to the side. But first, before I do that, I'm going to kind of walk my other one out a little bit. And then invite it towards you a little bit. Woo! Little spice. And then drop it towards the floor. Now, mine never gets to the floor. That's okay. You just do you, right? And then sometimes that opposite hip is starting to kind of roll towards the side that I'm lowering towards. So I know I've done too much, so I'll kind of bring it back up a little bit. Maybe take my opposite hand on that hip and glue my upper shoulder elbow into the floor so I don't kind of tip over. So I'm trying to keep my pelvis nice and aligned on the yoga mat when I do this because I have SI joint dysfunction, and if I kind of get off a little bit, lots of spicy pain happens. So I've learned kind of my little triggers in the yoga pose that make it a little bit safer for me. Hopefully that translates to you as well. All right, we're going to bring that back to heart center, bend that knee. You know what? We're just basically going to switch sides. So contract your belly button towards the spine, lift the other foot, put it into the strap. Now if you're doing it hands back behind, maybe hands back behind or back of the knee, whatever you can manage here. The traditional version of this pose is take the peace fingers, wrap them around your big toe, and then take your thumb on top of your toe. Then straighten the leg, straighten the arm. Now I can't do that. So my shoulder is also up off the ground. So I try to make the poses more accessible to people that have back pain. When you don't have back pain, you probably can do this, but for most of us, it's using that strap to help things work a little bit better for those of us that need the yoga to ease back pain. All right. And again, this side, for me, is a little bit closer towards my chest than the other. But I always like to go like nice and straight and then start inviting it. And I'm not using much, arm strength here. I'm just kind of, hanging on with my hands. And I'm letting those shoulders really melt into the yoga mat. And flexing my heel, toes towards my heart center. So that gives me a little bit more of a contraction. Woo! Going on in that calf, that hamstring. Now, if you need to, you can always bend the knee a little bit and still get lots of good benefits with this pose. Softly straightened, softly bent. Either way, it's okay. All right? So, we're going to take big toe hold. That's hard to say. Out to the sides. So, I'm going to take the other foot and kind of walk it out a little bit and drop the other leg out to the side. And again, I try to have that heel flexed. And, I can bring my arm down, hand on the hip to, again, make sure my pelvis is nice and aligned with the floor. Woo! Don't forget to breathe. Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Again, inhaling through the nose. And exhaling. Let's bring it back to heart center. Yay. So when you coordinate the breath with the movement, that helps to lower the cortisol, lessen the stress. So that's good stuff. Let's do the notice pose. So the notice pose, for those of you that have done this before, you already know what to do. you extend one leg, whew, and then the other, and just kind of, here's the word, notice, yeah? Okay, so how does this feel? Is this tight? Do you already feel opened up? I already feel opened up, you know, because we've already done the breathing, the knee to chest pose, the constructive rest pose, and the big toe hold. Toe hold. I can't even talk. Next, we're going to do rolling bridge. I normally put this at the end, but we're going to try something a little different today. So contract the belly button towards the spine, bend one knee, then the other. So rolling bridge is basically you're coordinating your movement with your breath, breath with the movement, and you're kind of rolling up and rolling down. May not happen, just know that, folks, okay? I move my hair out of the way because usually if I do rolling bridge, I always get my hair stuck on my shoulders. It's like, okay, that feels weird. So move your hair out of the way. Arms out to the side, and I'm walking my feet towards my behind. Again, legs are parallel, or look like number 11s or little skis, as I like to call it. And then from here, we're going to tilt the pelvis towards the low ribs, again, to make sure that pelvis is stable on the ground. Now, if that doesn't bother you, that's fine to have a curve in the low back, all right? This may be spicy for some folks. It may be not spicy. So let's breathe in. The belly gets big. And as you exhale, tilting the pelvis, push into the feet, push into the shoulders. Now I can just barely come up off the ground. So I'm going to move my arm. I don't know if you can even see that. Breathe in. Exhale, roll your spine on down. Let your backside settle. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, tilt your pelvis, push into those feet and the shoulders. Usually on that second time, I can raise up off the ground. It takes a little time, folks. Again, breathe in right here. Exhale, roll your spine down. Try not to have the legs drop out to the side, nice and parallel. They may go out a little bit, but not too much, okay? Breathe in, belly big. Tilt the pelvis. Exhale, push into those feet, the shoulders. So this pose is all about the slow. Whew. Breathe in. Exhale, let it kind of roll down one vertebra at a time as best you can. Sometimes that last part just kind of goes chunk, and it happens, okay? And again, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, tilt that pelvis, push into those feet, raise up. We're going to stay here for a breath. Breathe in. Really push those hips towards the sky. Exhaling. Very good. Breathing in. And then roll it down as you exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Let that backside release and settle. Let's do that again. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, tilt that pelvis. And then push into those feet, push into those shoulders. Breathe in. But this time, exhale, come down halfway. Inhaling, stay here. Maybe some shaking going on here. And then exhale, roll on down, all the way down. Beautiful. Now let's bring one knee into the chest. Then the other hands can be on the shins. Hands can be back behind the thighs. Let's just basically a little side to side movement. Now if that's not cool for you, you can do more into your chest and more away. That's a pelvic tilt when you do that. So again, I like the side to side just to kind of, again, warm up that backside. So I told you we're going to be doing that breathing, the warm up, the workout, the standing, the balancing, and the guided rest and cool down. All right, we're going to bring the feet back onto the yoga mat. Very nice. Let's do the notice pose. Let's see. Did that rolling bridge do anything for our stuff? Our stuff. Woo! I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling a bit more open with the backside of my body. Now, you can't only work the lower back to help the lower back. You got to work the upper back. So grab your block or that rolled up towel or knees together. Okay? Bend one knee, then the other. Let's bring that block, the width, the medium width of the block, in between the knees. So you're still keeping that kind of parallel alignment with the legs. Okay? All right, so I'm squeezing the block with a little bit of, like, it's just not holding it there. I'm squeezing it. So that's activating my inner thigh, my groin. It's activating a bit of your low core. So sneaky core work happening here. All right, so we're going to do some upper back work to help the low back. Got to strengthen all parts, right? Keep that squeeze, though. We're We're going to take the hands and fold the fingers into the pads of the hands and the thumbs out. And we're trying to line up the hands with the wrists, okay? Then you bring your arm out from your shoulder. So it looks like if someone's looking at you from up top, you look like a letter T. Do the same with the other side. My other side can't quite do this, but I just do the best I can. Now, letter T arms, squeeze in the block. We're going to push the shoulders into the yoga mat as we continue to squeeze. So we're going to squeeze and release. Squeeze the shoulders and release. Keep squeezing the legs though, okay? That's a constant squeeze. We got lots of stuff going on here. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. If you happen to be like squeezing with the legs extra while you squeeze the shoulders, that's okay. It's hard to coordinate sometimes. Again, 2 more times. And 1. Okay, shake out those hands, but keep the squeeze. Interlace the hands, pads of the palms together, and drop the shoulders towards the floor, arms super straight. Squeeze in that block. I'm going to try to bring the arms overhead. Now, this may be like Mission Impossible. So it's kind of like squeezing my glasses here. So I'm wiggling my thumbs. I'm not quite to the floor. And I'm also tilting my pelvis towards my low ribs. All right, bring it back on up. Kind of shake those hands a bit and go back into those fingers into the pads of the hands. Letter T arms, squeeze in the block. Press into the floor and release. Press and release. Press, whoo, and release. Press, release. 2 more. 2 and 1, and shake it out. All right, interlace those hands, palms together, arms super straight, shoulders down. Squeeze the block. I was forgetting to squeeze the block. Bring the arms overhead. So the elbow pits should be looking at each other. And you may notice that you're able to come down the side of the head more. Ooh, I'm able to touch something back there. I think it's my singing bowl. All right, and then bring it back on up. We're going to do that 1 more time. You guessed it. I'm going to scoot down so I don't hit my singing bowl when I bring those arms overhead. And got to watch out for stuff behind you, right? Again, squeeze the block. You can tilt the pelvis towards the low ribs. Arms out into a letter T. Press into the floor and release. Again, make sure the top of the hand is aligned with your forearm, so this activates the muscles in the forearm and kind of gets range of motion going on in those joints in the fingers. Might feel a little awkward though. Well, what else is new, right? You're doing yoga. Yoga's kind of that out there kind of thing, but it's, man, so beneficial. There's like 117 health conditions helped by yoga, and Dr. Timothy McCall has gone in and done research on all the different case studies that have demonstrated that. It's pretty cool. All right, 1 more squeeze and release. Last time today. Interlace those hands, palms together, shoulders down, elbows nice and straight. Squeeze the block and bring the arms overhead. Here we go. So do you notice any increase or range of motion in the arms overhead business? So you're, again, strengthening the upper back to help the low back pain. Bring it back on up. Shake it out. Take that block out to the side. And guess what? Yes, you know it. Notice pose. Or maybe you don't know it, but it's notice pose. So extend one leg, then the other. Kind of move your back a little bit. Maybe wiggle those legs. Whoo! I don't know about you, but I'm already like ready to take my nap. But we got a lot more work to do. All right. Contract your belly button towards the spine, then the other. We got to do a twist. So we're going to, before we get up, we're going to do a twist. So I invite you to drop your knees towards me. Now I lift up my behind, then turn. That way I don't, again, activate that SI joint pain. Oh, I got my block close by. I'm going to put my head on the block, or you can have the side of the head down to the ground. Kind of depends, you know, how that feels for you, okay? So here's the thing. We're going to try to twist in the thoracic, the mid-spine, not the hip. To do that, we're going to bring those legs like at a 90-degree angle, and I got to make sure that top knee is in line with the bottom knee. So what happens to me is I tend to shift the top hip. I already did it, and I can feel it in my pain area. So I'm trying to keep everything nice and lined here. Hands out in front. Contract the belly button if you need to. Maybe you realign the ribs a bit. Very good. And bring the arm up. Now I'm going to take that bottom arm and glue it on top so I don't shift that top hip. And basically I'm dropping the arm back behind me. Whew. You should feel a generous armpit stretch for sure. Some chest stretch. Maybe a big old long stretch from the top of the hip all the way up to the connecting ribs. Wow. Breathe. Here we go. Breathe. Again, make sure top knee is aligned with bottom knee, that you haven't micro shifted, because we're trying to, again, initiate that twist in the mid spine. And bring the arm back on up and release. Now I'm just going to flip over on the other side instead of showing you my back side. Again, sometimes when you come up off the ground, you can feel a little dizzy. Whew. Sometimes that happens to me. Again, I'm doing that right angle knees. I'm kind of lifting my hip and getting everything all nice and adjusted. Put my head underneath my block. Again, you don't have to use the block. You can use the floor. But this is my side where I have my pacemaker. So I always like to keep this side nice and stacked, because otherwise it kind of really stretches my chest to where it feels like it's tugging at my wires. So I don't want that. I also do a yoga for pacemakers group. So if you have a pacemaker and want to know more about that and yoga, you can join that group. Knees stacked. Hands together, bring it up, and then bring it back behind you. Now, because I do have this pacemaker here, I have some limitations. So this arm typically is more up in the air than my other one. Again, I'm going to take that other bottom hand and make sure my top hip is not shifting while I engage in this twist. And that's okay. You deal with what you got, right? Some folks, are amputees and are having to deal with, issues with how they do yoga, or maybe I've got clients that have MS and they have drop foot and communication that's not happening because of the nervous system, because of stuff going on in the brain. So we all got issues to kind of deal with. So my thing is to help guide you through some of that. Woo! All right, bring it back on up. And if you're coming up off the ground, well, we are coming up off the ground, place that hand in front of you. Let your head come up the very last. So we did our twists. We got to do spinal movements 3 and 4, but sometimes you can feel a little dizzy coming up off the ground. So what I do is invite you to drop your chin into your chest and just breathe for a moment. Now, if this is not cool, easy for you to sit on your bottom, you can transition already to hands and knees if you don't have any dizzy issues. All right, so we're going to come onto our hands and knees. I'm not sure. I'm going to place that block over there. And we'll be doing flowy cat-cow to get some circulation going on throughout the entire length of the spine. And then we'll do, let me think here, what else will we do? We'll do spinal balance for, again, more core work. So we've been sneaking in a bunch of core work. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we have. All right, traditional cat-cows, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet. I can't do tops of the feet anymore. My feet are just kind of weird. So I do curly toes. And that really stretches, lengthens, helps plantar fasciitis. So that's cool stuff. All right, I'm going to walk my hands forward. So flowy cat-cow is doing a little bit less curving in the spine, but still getting some range of motion going on. Let's breathe in first and dome your hands. And then exhale, lower your behind towards your heels, forearms on the yoga mat. And let's inhale, drag ourselves forward. Once you peel the arms off the yoga mat, curve the spine to the top of the room, contract that belly button towards the spine, exhale, lower. Inhale, drag yourself forward. Peel up, using those biceps and triceps, curve the spine. There's a little curve going on there. And then lower for your cow pose. Inhale, come forward. Actually, inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Now, if you prefer to do the traditional cat-cow, that is cool. I'm just showing you another way, the way that helps with easing back pain. A yoga flow sequence. Inhaling, come forward. And if you forget how to breathe, that's okay. Just keep breathing, all right? One more. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and bring the hands back underneath. Now, if you got issues, maybe you want to substitute fists. That's hard to say, fists instead of wrists. That makes you a little bit taller in the pose, yeah? And I got to see where I'm at here. I got to move a little forward because I'm afraid I'm going to hit my candles. Even though they're flameless candles, I mean, tip one over. Huh? So the arm that's closest to me Go ahead and extend an arm out, and then slide the opposite foot to the edge of the yoga mat, and push that heel to the back of the room so you get a little calf contraction. Now, breathe in, and as you exhale, lift that heel, lengthen from the hand to the heel. Maybe some wiggling. Inhale, bring it in. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So other arm out. Again, it can be a bent arm if you need to. I'm already feeling wiggly on this side. Oh my gosh. And then extend the opposite foot. Push the heel to the edge of the room. Breathe in. Exhale, lift up. And inhale, bring it in. Now, let's do this with movement. Exhale, an opposite arm and leg outward. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, other opposite arm and leg. So this activates the multifidus muscle. Inhale, bring it in. It is on either side of the spine. If your multifidus muscle is not strong, if it's more fatty than muscle, then it will recruit other muscles to help you with keeping you upright, twisting, doing everyday activities. So when you recruit other muscles to do the work of the multifidus, then that means you can have overuse and have back pain. How about that? Huh. So bird dog or spinal balance is one of those poses for activating it. And come back in. All right, we're going to come up to standing. So however you like to come up to standing, but I am going to use the chair just because it makes it easier for those of us with back pain. So I got come over to the couch or the chair, bring a leg up near that chair, press into the floor, and can walk that foot. Once you're kind of bent knee halfway up, hands on the hips, and hands up. So again, when you come up to standing, move that chair out of the way, dizzy issues can occur. So just stand here, hands to heart center, gaze. I invite you to gaze at the floor, breathe in, breathe out. Stand however is comfortable for you. Again, breathing in, breathe out. You might notice your heart rate when we're doing this. Again, breathing in and out. All right, we're going to do two standing poses. We're going to do a warrior two with a variation of arms and bent knee tree pose. So this is all, again, for balance, strength, and really activating the muscles that help us to keep the bones healthy. So yay. So let's go ahead and heel toe out. Hopefully I didn't put lotion on my feet. I don't think I did. Okay. And we're going to turn a set of toes. I'm going to lift my heel and turn towards the candles. And go ahead and maybe hands on the hip, bend the knee, get your feet nice and long and adjusted. Again, whatever feels good for your stance today. Now check to see that your knees align with your toes. And those hips may be turned a little bit. They don't have to be like square to me, but a little twist in the pelvis is good. All right. So again, remember when we did the squeeze in the block and then we folded the fingers in? We're going to do something similar. We're strengthening the lower body as we continue to strengthen the upper body. So yay, or maybe boo. We're going to fold the fingers into the pads of the hands again, and then thumbs out. But this time we're going to glue the elbows towards the low ribs. So you should feel that little shoulder squeeze. God, cannot talk today, folks. And then again, firm feet into the floor as if there's a wrinkle here, and you're taking the feet opposite directions of the room. And then you can either do a low, kind of wide V here, or do letter T arms. Kind of shake those shoulders a little bit. Palms are up, so the thumbs are facing back behind you. So let's turn our arms, or do arm circles with those nice, super straight arms. Again, if you need to have them lower because your shoulders are going, not today, that's fine. Now, if you want to do traditional, where your head goes, you don't have to be looking at me, but you can turn your chin to look over the bent knee side. Just know that might challenge your balance perception. Make sure the arms are coming forward and back behind you. Again, to deal with low back pain, you got to work with strengthening the upper back also. Goodness gracious, are you pushing into the floor? Very nice. And release. Now, if you want to take a little break with the leg, you can softly straighten and then go right back into it. Bent knee, take your opposite hand on your hip, fist, or that little kind of that wedge shape, And then inhale, circle sweep the other arm up. And as you exhale, contract your belly button towards the spine and lean it over your body. Inhaling up and exhaling. Yes, we're trying to get into those legs and get that side lateral movement going. Inhale up and float it down. Softly straighten, pivot that foot, walk it in. Some people jump it in. I don't do that anymore. I just walk it in. I'd be nice and careful. We got to do the other side. So step the feet out. Just know that maybe your stance is wider one side versus the other. Kind of interesting, huh? Lift a heel. We're going to turn the toes towards the plant. Bend the knee. And I'm kind of like scooching my feet out so I feel nice and wide. My hips tend to turn a whole bunch. So my thing is just turn them a little bit. We got to do those same arms again. Fold the fingers into the pads and thumbs out, and then bring them into your elbows. All right, but this time the palms are going to be facing the floor. So the thumbs are towards me. And you're making those feet pull opposite directions. Whew. All right, you can have that low stuff going on or letter T stuff. This time, though, bring the arms back behind you first. Ooh. And you may be noticing a little conversation going on with those shoulders. Don't try to go too fast here, especially if you're encountering some little ouchies here. Press firmly into the floor. Again, if you want to challenge that balance stuff, turn your head to look over the bent knee. Ooh. Sometimes with this movement, feet wide like this, it's a little balance challenge, especially for those of us with those back issues. Are the shoulders feeling tired yet? Maybe. Let's do 85 more. Here we go. Yeah, not 85. How about 2 more? And release. Shake it out. Now, if you want to take a break, softly straighten and then go right back into that warrior 2 feet. Knee bent, opposite hand on that hip. Inhale, circle sweep, arm up. Exhale, lean it over. Contract that belly button towards the spine. Inhale back on up. Exhale over. Inhale back on up. Exhale over. Listen to that breath. Here we go. Breathe in. Exhaling. Last one. Inhale. Float it down. Yay. Pivot that foot and walk it in. Okay. Now, for me, I have to use a chair to do tree pose. I'm just too wiggly. I don't want to embarrass myself and like kerplunk to the floor. Someone said, "Oh, how can you be a yoga teacher? You can't even do tree pose." And I go, "I can do tree pose, but it's my own version, okay? Give me a break." All right, and again, make it your own version too, because you may, with back pain, you may be going, "Oh yeah, I can nail this on this side, but the other one, it's not going to happen." It's okay, right? So, I got my fingertips here just in case I need it. Well, I'm going to need it. Step a leg out. And then I invite you to lift that heel, turn the foot. So what we're trying to do here is really get into the nooks and crannies of that hip, yeah? So you got one knee pointed one direction, and then the knee pointed towards me. All right, so you may know how to do tree, and you're more than welcome to do that, but I challenge you, bend the supporting, standing, balancing leg. All right, bring it in. Now it may be here rooted. I'm still wiggly. Or into the calf, or into that inner thigh. I can't do that on this side today. But make sure that it's not pressing on that knee joint. And that your leg is out to the side. It hasn't decided to turn in. Now, I've got this curve going on here, so I got to be tall. Tall, lengthy from the belly button up to the top, but still bend the knee. Ooh. Maybe an arm can go up. Maybe the other arm can too. Maybe not. Notice the dance of the foot. If you had any sprains, surgeries, you may notice stuff going on, one foot versus the other. Try to press to the outside of the foot and notice if that makes it more wiggly. For me it does. And let's release. Woo! Kind of bend one knee, then the other. We're going to do the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of flip my little metal chair over to the other side. And step the foot out. We're going to do the other side now. Lift the heel, turn it towards the other side of the room. Bend that knee, start walking it in. Again, this side I can do a little bit more. Who knows why? And then I'm going to bend my standing knee. Ooh, that's challenging. Again, we're trying to really work those muscles with the bent knee, challenge the balance. Again, make sure that knee is out to the side as you're doing this. So I do challenge you to do a bent knee tree pose as opposed to moving it towards more straightening, because you're not really using the muscles if you don't do the bent knee one. Kind of fun stuff. Breathing in, breathing out. Woo! And release. All right. We're going to come down to the floor. Again, I will use the chair to come down because that's just, for me, an easier way to come down. And let's go ahead and get onto our backs and do the notice pose. Take your time. I don't know if we'll need our block. Probably need our strap though. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. We're here on borrowed time. All right. We've got about 10 minutes left in class. So again, here in constructive rest pose. And then when you're ready, extend one leg. Ooh. And then the other. Move those shoulders a little bit. Just kind of notice, how does this feel? You should feel pretty yummy by now. That's a real descriptive term, right? It should feel better than when you started class. You should notice some relief, okay? So, warming up the muscles, strengthening the muscles, cooling down, relaxing, doing that guided rest. All right, we're going to bend one knee, then the other. We're going to do the yoga band-aid pose, just to add a little icing on the cake. This is one of my clients' favorite poses. So it's kind of weird to me, but that's okay, all right? Bottoms and the feet, that's the weird part, okay? Come together, and then the knees out. And then you can also, again, tilt the pelvis towards the ribs to make sure that pelvis is nice and firm onto the yoga mat. Now, if that little curve under here doesn't bother you, that's cool. But for me, I got to tilt. All right, so again, this is all about the slow. Here we go. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, lift your legs about halfway up. We're going to stay here as we inhale. Here we go. Exhale, bring the legs together. Bottoms of the feet kind of go on the yoga mat. Your pelvis kind of realigns here. And then as you inhale, open back on up. Notice if your knees come out a little wider. They do a little bit. Keep your breath going. And as you exhale, tilt the pelvis, come up about a third. So we're coming up a third here. And then breathe in, stay here. Exhale to about 2/3. Bottoms of the feet are still touching a bit. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale, legs together, bottoms of the feet on the yoga mat. Let that all relax. Inhale, open up, belly soft. Last time, I promise. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, just barely come up off the ground. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale to about halfway. Kind of a judgment call where halfway is, Inhaling, stay here. Exhale to about 3/4. Breathing in, big breath right here. And then exhale, legs together, feet on the yoga mat. Beautiful. Now, let's extend the legs. Whew. And then the other. Again, your opportunity to notice, how does this feel? Does it feel more open? Does it feel a little bit less constricted, tight than from the beginning of class? Now, my clients that have MS, typically they will feel, and Parkinson's, they will feel a little exhausted by this point. It may be like a delightful exhaustion, but, exercise tends to tire out. So, for those particular clients. So, if that's an issue with you, just know that's kind of normal if you have those issues, all right? Now, I invite you to stay here. Maybe you want to put a blanket underneath the knees. Maybe you feel okay here. Again, those of us with acute back pain, you may want to have knees together, feet apart. That way you can continue to have that backside release and relax. If you are feeling okay, legs out, arms out, hands on the body, whatever is okay for you is going to happen. So as you lie here for our final guided rest and relaxation, I come up to the front of the room and I do our little yogic sleep method. So when I took the MRT, Mindful Resistance training from Yoga, Veterans Yoga Protocol Project, I was having a lot of pain, and we were doing chair yoga class. And you wouldn't think, oh, chair yoga, that's going to be easier than regular yoga, right? Well, maybe not, right? And so the guy who taught the class came up to me and said, hey, I noticed you were kind of gripping your face and having some pain. I go, yes. And he suggested to me to go home that night of the training and do the yoga sleep method that was on the Veterans Yoga Project website. And I went, okay, I'll do that. And he goes, and do it again in the morning. And then you come and find me and tell me how you feel. Your pain should be less. I went, okay. Skeptical. So I did that. It was about a 20-minute long thing to listen to, and did the same thing the next morning. And yes, my pain was lessened. So this little element, this one of the 5 tools that we use for easing issues with chronic stress, anxiety, pain, this is a key thing. So if you go to yoga class and they go, okay, final relaxation, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to zip out. Don't. Stay. This is like the syrup on the pancakes. Oh, it's good stuff. Or whatever that analogy is, all right? All right, so wherever you are, let's get comfortable. So maybe those knees need to be bent and the feet wide, or maybe you want to cover up with a blanket, or maybe a little pillow underneath the back of the head. So whatever it is, just get a little bit more comfortable, okay? So since we're lying on our backs, just kind of feel where the ground is connecting to your body. So maybe it's the calves, maybe it's the shoulders, the back of the head, most likely. Sometimes what I'll do for comfort is I'll take my hand back here, back behind my head, and just kind of lift it up at that kind of that bumpy part, and then lengthen it away. So my chin is more tucked into my chest. And it feels a little bit more aligned, a little bit more, I don't know, more better? That's not a word, is it? I guess it is. But my chin's tucked in my chest, and it just feels a little bit better for me. All right, so let's just beginning to notice your legs. Notice the body's connected to the floor. Notice your arms, your hands, your fingers. Notice your shoulders, notice your head. Notice the top of the head. And let's bring awareness to the face, relaxing the muscles of the face, maybe opening the mouth slightly and releasing any tension from the jaw. So from this little body scan, let's move now into noticing the breathing. So we're going through the different layers in this guided rest practice. So body scanning and now breathing. Let's just start to bring attention to the breath. Just notice that you are breathing, and we'll start to manipulate the breath a little by allowing the inhale to get a little bit longer. So as you breathe in, let's lengthen it, and let's allow the exhale to get a little bit longer. Again, breathing in, breathing out. Now, if the breath weirds you out, just breathe. I'm cool with that. All you've got to do is listen, okay? Listen and breathe. All right, beautiful. As our exhale and our inhale gets a little bit longer, you might notice your heart beating as we're breathing. When you allow your breath to slow down, notice if your heart rate slows down. All right, so from breathing, let's move into opposites. Let's allow your body to feel very heavy, as if you're sinking down into the earth, or you're allowing the earth to hold you up. Your arms and legs are heavy, and then allow your body to feel very light, as though you could float up from your seat, floating up towards the sky. Light arms, light legs, light body. And then from those opposite sensations, let's move into witnessing our thoughts. We'll just start to become aware of our thoughts. Just take a moment to observe any thoughts that might be coming into the mind. Maybe you're observing them like at the movies. There's like that big screen with your eyelids closed, and you may be noticing shapes or, colors or whatever going across that mind screen. So just notice the thoughts that are coming across the screen. Try not to engage with them. Just notice, just watch. Continuing to breathe nice and slow, watching whatever comes. Then, from witnessing our thoughts, let's move into emotions. Then for a moment, let's just check in with our emotions. Notice if there's any emotions present for you right now. And you could actually be pretty emotionally neutral. We're going to work with despair and hope. So remember a time in your life when you felt hopelessness and despair. Be sure to remember that you are not experiencing these feelings at this time, just remembering them. Where do you feel this emotion in your body? Is there a feeling of constriction in your heart or your abdomen? Remember this feeling of hopelessness. Now, let's swiftly move it into the other emotion, hope, all right? Now experience the opposite, a feeling of hope. Allow your heart to open and expand to the possibilities of good outcomes. A feeling of support and love from those around you. Imagine positive outcomes to your stressful situations in this feeling of hope. Just kind of bathe in the feeling of hope. Notice your breathing. All right, so let's just take a moment here to recall a very happy time in your life, one of your happiest memories. Recall as many details as possible. Who's around you? What's around you? The colors, the shapes, the textures. Notice the sounds, the smells. There might even be a taste. Notice how you feel in this moment in time, your happiest, favorite memory. And then let's all together take a deep breath. And I invite you to bring awareness back into your body. So let's kind of wiggle those toes, those fingers, maybe bending one knee, wiggling those shoulders. I invite you to, after you've bent those knees, roll over onto your right side. Just kind of be here, chill for a moment, breathing in, breathing out. And with that hand that's in front of you, push into the floor and drag yourself up. Let that head be the last thing that comes up. And again, when we come up off the floor, equilibrium, dizzy things can happen. So I invite you to place your hands on your heart or hands together at the sternum, either way. And drop the chin towards the chest, eyes gazing at the floor or again, closed. And just breathe. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Or through the mouth, as the case may be. And again, breathing in, breathing out. Let's lift that head if you feel comfortable. And we'll do that little gratitude practice. So, we just came out of the Thanksgiving time where we, of course, are kind of entrenched in being thankful. Let's just kind of try to do that on a daily basis. Maybe it's somebody that's in your family, a friend. Maybe it's the food you eat, the place where you lie your head down at night, the clothes that you wear. Maybe it's the gods you worship. Whatever it is, let's just bring in a little attitude of gratitude, a little bit of thankfulness. All right, so thank you for hanging out with me today. I don't know what the schedule is for next week, but you can look on Facebook page or sign up for the newsletter because they send out a weekly email with the list of classes and the Zoom classes if you're interested, in doing a Zoom class with us. And if you're interested in more practice, check out the video tabs here on VYP online streaming classes. Check out the practices and the yoga stuff on both the YouTube channel, the SoundCloud channel, and then let's see, the Veterans Yoga Project website, and it has links to all that stuff. All right, so this is Gail, and I'm gonna bring my hands over my heart, or you can do hands together at the sternum, at the chest level. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take that peace, that strength, and that attitude, little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. All right, again, the light in me honors the light in you. I will see you next time. If you made a comment, I'll respond. Fill out the survey. Let us know how we did, if this class or other classes are beneficial for you. And again, this is Gail for Veterans Yoga Project. I'm going to try to end this. Here we go. And see you